this computer. But did you by chance try to access the YouTube page that has the recording of classes on it? Okay. And I don't know if it's on your Claris, if you are accessing class through Claris. I'm going to double check with Samantha about a button giving you access to YouTube. I'm making myself a note, because if I don't make myself a note, I won't do it. I'll think about it about 3 o'clock in the morning and go, oh no, I forgot to do that. So, but just know that all of the classes are recorded and uploaded to YouTube for you to utilize for a couple different reasons. Ah, here's Sharita. Sharita. Yay, Sharita, you made it. All right, while Sharita's coming in, she's on mute right now. Let me ask to unmute. I'll continue about the YouTube page. So classes are uploaded to the YouTube page, and you can use that for a couple different ways. So maybe you came to class and you're like, what did she say about that? Or, hey, I want to redo that certain part. You can go to the YouTube page by either accessing it through the button on your Claris, or you can go to YouTube and search SOWEGA, SOWEGA. So that stands for Southwest Georgia, Jennifer Crosby. And that should bring up my page very easily. And everything is listed by date. It'll say, like today's class will say SOWEGA, August 20th, 2024 a.m. because y'all are the morning class. There will be another one that says this date, but p.m., and that's my afternoon class. And so you can access it there and then fast forward to the part that you want to practice or try, or maybe something comes up and you're not able to come to class. You can visit the YouTube page and then you don't miss a beat. You know what we did during class. So I will get with Samantha about it being on your YouTube page. And then next week, what I'll do is, well, I take that back. There won't be a class next week. And I have training for a new program I'm going to be offering called Mind Over Matter, which is an incontinence program. So I will not have class next week, but you will still have 16 weeks of this class. I'll just add it to the end. So you'll still get the full experience of Tai Chi. And I have to do that every now and again. I hate to do it, but there's just no way around it sometimes because people will be scheduling things out of my control. So as long as I can control it, I'm not canceling class. But that would give you an opportunity to get on YouTube and explore that. But the next week, if y'all will remind me, or if my memory will serve me, that I'll share my screen and show you what the page looks like and kind of how to navigate the different things. So, you know, we're here to learn. We're here to get better. We are here to get something out of Tai Chi class. You know, maybe you've never done Tai Chi before and this is your first experience. That's great. You're in the right place. Maybe you've been doing Tai Chi for a couple of years. That's great. You're in the right place because Tai Chi is you're ever growing in your Tai Chi. In the beginning, you're just learning the moves. You're getting familiar with the moves. You're trying to not be not feel awkward. You're trying to get out of feeling awkward doing these movements because your body's not used to it. And then years down the line, you're really getting to fall into those principles of Tai Chi that we practice throughout our movements. And so our principles, there are 3 different sections of our principles. We have movement control, we have body structure, and we have the internal experience. And I will introduce you to those. First, with movement control is the pace of our movement. And our movements are slow, smooth, and continuous. Being slow is a challenge, and it's oftentimes more difficult to be slow than it is to be quick. So keep those words in mind, repeat those to yourself. You may write them down and put them on a post-it and have on the wall in front of you to remind you to be slow, smooth, and continuous. And that's under movement control. The other one I want to talk about is body structure, and that is having upright posture and no tension. So this is talking about your spine like it has a string, and you pull that string up and pull that string down at the same time. Straighten that spine, having good posture, but thinking about your shoulders as well. So we're not holding tension in our shoulders. We're not holding them up. That used to be my tendency, but to keep those shoulders relaxed, but also back. So, sometimes we'll sit like this, kind of hunched over, straighten that spine and pull those shoulders back and down. And so that's our upright posture that we want to hold throughout our Tai Chi class. We also want to think about the placement of our feet. So our feet don't want to be here. We do not want our feet side by side like this. We want to widen our base so we are less likely to fall. This is a stable stance. So we can be about hip width or shoulder width. Play around with the exact placement of your feet because all of our bodies are different, and what feels stable for you may not be my best or most favorite body position. Play around with that. I tend to like my feet a little wider than hip width. That's where I feel most stable. And thinking about our knees, what I don't want you to do is lock your knees. I want you to have a soft bend. So we're not squatted down. We're not bending our knees real low. We're just keeping them soft. Same thing with our elbows. And this is called an open joint or a song joint, SONG. And so instead of being with our arms in mind, we don't want to be like Frankenstein, just like this, where our elbows are locked and my arms are completely straight. Where we want to be is a soft bend in the elbow. So you see, my arms are out, but they're not out. So keep that in mind, and that's called a song or an open joint, and it allows energy to flow. But specifically with our knees, if we keep a soft joint, then we're going to be able to absorb impact. So if somebody runs into me when I'm standing somewhere and my knees are bent, I'm more able to kind of take that impact, bend a little bit more in the knee, and recover from it. If my knees were straight locked, somebody runs into me, then I'm more likely to fall because I don't have anything to absorb the impact. So those are lessons outside of Tai Chi, but we learn and practice them in Tai Chi. Tai Chi gives us body awareness. And that just means I'm thinking about how I'm holding my body, position of my body, any tension in my body all the time, not just in Tai Chi class, because it sets myself up for success. Our goal is to not fall. And so body structure is a big part of that. Body awareness helps us keep that nice body structure. So those are two things I want us to keep in mind within our principles: slow, smooth, and continuous, and upright posture. Okay, so there's more to our principles than that, but we're gonna just start with those two. The movement, the pace of our movement, and how we hold our bodies. So in our stable stance, let's start with our warm-ups of our neck. My hands are to my side. My weight is on both legs. No tension in my shoulders. I have good posture. And I'm going to begin by bringing my hands up, palms up or palms down. Then turn and pull them towards my chin and chest. Turn and push away from my body and follow those hands with my head all the way down where my chin goes to my chest. So up close, it looks like up, turn and pull towards chin and chest, turn and push away. Remember, not locking my joints, and then turn and following those hands all the way down. One more time, thinking about breathing. Inhale up and exhale whenever you need to exhale. Just continue to breathe. That's the main thing. We're continuing to breathe. Very good. Next neck exercise starts out that same way towards our chin and chest. When we get here, we drop one hand to our hip and follow this hand as we look towards that shoulder. So only our hand and our head is moving. I'm following that hand as if I were looking in a mirror, coming back to front and switch. So my body's staying forward as I go side. I'll claim this one as one of my favorites because my neck will be stiff depending on, usually if I'm having to drive a lot, my neck will get stiff. You know, you have to constantly be on guard when you're driving, and so your neck will get stiff. But here, the one way this helps with driving outside of having a nice mobile stretched neck. How about this? When I got to change lanes, look over, oh, it's safe for me to change lanes. Or if I'm backing up and need to look over my shoulder to make sure nobody's coming. Okay, so those are functional fitness moves. Next is for our shoulders. So with our hands on the side of our leg, we're going to roll our shoulders forward first. If you want to think about size, think about those circles being about the size of a quarter. And then roll those shoulders back. So this is like a little massage you give yourself. Continue to breathe. Check in with yourself. Make sure you're not holding your breath. That's a tendency to happen when you're doing something new. Your mind will be focused on what you're doing, but here we want to make sure you're continuing to breathe. It just helps reset posture, warm up those shoulder joints. Another movement for our shoulders. We bring those hands up, palms up, turn and push those hands down. Inhale up, exhale down. That's a way to incorporate our breathing with our shoulder movement. The next two are for our spine and involve us holding our ball. Our hands are facing each other. Again, we're not holding tension in our shoulder. Our arms are out and away from our bodies. I think about our armpits breathing versus being here. My armpits are closed off. But if I bring my arms up, then my armpits can breathe. And that allows energy to flow through that shoulder joint. So here we have our ball. And we're going to separate these hands. So the hand on top is going to push down towards the floor, still keeping a soft bend. And the hand on the bottom of our ball is going to follow our spine up. And when it gets to our head, we're going to turn and push up towards the ceiling. So we're pushing up and down at the same time. Come back to our ball and switch. So the other hand pushes up and the other hand pushes down. You should feel a stretch in your spine. Back to our ball and switch. Don't forget to breathe. This is a vertical stretch of the spine. Next is our horizontal stretch. So we take our ball and we're going to take it to the side. So you see, I'm only moving the top part of my body. I'm not really moving my neck, but my head is it's just going along with it. This isn't a neck exercise. This is for our spine. And so the hand that's on top, let me let Miss Barbara in and write her down. Barbara Hatcher. All right. So the hand that's on top tells us what direction we're going. So we're going to go just above that knee. We're not going to go way over here. We're just taking a short trip just above that knee. We're going to switch our hands and then come back across. Tai Chi, we keep everything small. We don't try to do more. We don't try to make it bigger. We do everything small. So don't feel like you're not doing enough just because you do it small. The things that are important, I'll keep reminding you. That is body structure. That is continuing to breathe and the pace of your movement. That's all those are the things we're thinking about right now. Holding upright posture, slow, smooth, continuous, and breathing. So that's for our spine. Those are our upper body movements. Now we get a little more complicated as we move into our lower body movements. And what makes those movements a little more complicated is the fact that we're shifting weight from one leg to the other leg. So essentially, we are holding our weight on one leg while we do something else with that other leg. Just our feet, and these are for our hips. We're going to shift weight from one leg. It doesn't matter which, because the other side next. We're going to place our heel out forward. We're going to pause in the middle and then place that toe back, but at an angle. Notice I didn't go straight back. I went at an angle, and I like to think about that like a kickstand. Okay? So that's the basic movement with our feet. We shift weight to one leg. We place our heel out forward. Again, keep an upright posture. We don't want to lean into these movements. Pause in the middle and toe back at that angle, just like a kickstand. What do we do with our hands? Okay, well, when I have a foot back, my hands are out forward. When I have my heel forward, my hands are back. So it's a counterbalance movement to help keep us upright, but it's also a cross-lateral movement. And what cross-lateral movement does is it challenges our brain. And that's why these movements are difficult. If you haven't done these movements before, then it's going to go, I can't do it. I can't. Well, this is why Tai Chi is good for you, because it challenges your brain to do these cross-lateral movements. And we do cross-lateral movements throughout our Tai Chi. This is just our first one. Heel forward, hands back. pause in the middle, and toe back, hands forward. Come back to center, heel forward, hands back, pause in the middle, toe back, hands forward. One more time, heel forward, hands back, pause in the middle, and toe back, hands forward. Now remember, if this is difficult for you and you struggle staying upright, like you really feel like you're going to fall over, use a chair. Hold on to a chair, forget the hand movements. Hold on to a table. Hold on to a wall. This is actually, but it's put wall. But something that's going to help make you feel more stable. That's what's important. You'll move towards doing the movement without a chair or without the support. So let's go to the other side, shifting the weight, heel forward, hands back, pause in the middle, toe back, hands forward. Pause, heel, middle, toe. Don't forget to breathe. Now this is challenging and it's easy to hold your breath when we're being tapped. Very good. Other one for our hip. We're going to shift our weight to one leg. And the other leg, we're going to lift and tap out just a little bit. Just a small movement out, back in, shift the weight, lift and tap. Again, use a chair if you need help with balance. Tap. Okay. What can we do with our hands? Okay. We're going to stack our hands like this. And we're going to take those hands in the direction of the weight shift. So if I'm shifting to this leg, I'm going to move those hands this way as I shift the weight. Lift and tap. Back to center. Switch my hands. Shift. Lift and tap. Shift. Lift and tap. So what I want you to notice is that I'm stopping right here on the edge of my frame. I'm not going way over here. You're not going to see me start leaning. Leaning is falling, and that goes against what we're trying to do here. So here and tap. Switch, here, and tap. So upright posture, slow, smooth, and very good. So those are for our hips. Now for our knee, we have some more cross lateral movement. We're going to shift the weight to one leg. We're going to lift the foot at the toe out in front of us. Opposite hand, we're going to punch out. Keeping that soft bend. So we're not locking it as we punch. We're keeping that soft bend, bringing it back with the foot. Shift, lift, tap and punch, bring it back. 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 So this is cross lateral movement, me moving this hand. This is my right, but you may think of it as my left if you're thinking mirror image, and tap the opposite foot. So that cross lateral movement does wonderful things inside this brain. It makes our brain work in a fabulous way that helps it, helps keeping it functioning. We're trying to ward off Alzheimer's if we can, right, y'all? And this is one way that we can keep our mind sharp. The other way for our knee is loose fist again. We're going to shift weight. We're going to step out. Keeping both feet flat on the floor, we're going to shift a little bit of weight to that front leg. hand. Bring it back. Bring the foot back. Shift. Step the other foot out. Shift a little front forward, keeping both feet flat on the floor. Bring it back. Feet side by side. Shift. Step. Shift and punch. Bring it back. So whenever you step out, I want you to step heel toe. So you're kind of rocking that foot down. You're not just slapping it out there. You're rocking it out and bring it back side by side. This movement is fabulous for the sake that we shift weight right to left, side to side, and we shift weight front and back. Weight shifting is the key to getting our muscles stronger so that we are less likely to fall. So this in itself is falls prevention. This is weight transfer. Weight transfer is another one of our principles under body structure. And we weight transfer all throughout our Tai Chi. We've already done a lot of it just in our warm-ups. Next is, and last is for our ankles. We don't have any hand movements here. We shift the weight and we rock our foot heel, toe, heel, toe. Rocking that foot. You'll feel a stretch in your shin and your calf, not just your ankle, and that's because everything's connected. Shift the weight and heel, toe, our other foot. Double check and make sure you have good posture, no tension in your shoulders, and that you are still breathing. Other movement for our ankle, shift the weight and we go big toe, little toe. So side to side, side to side. Very good, side to side. Bring it back, shift the weight, and little toe, big toe. So side to side. I like somebody who said or called this corn and bunion, because that's what it is. Corn, bunion. Corn, bunion. What reminded me of that is this is my bunion foot. So you may have a bunion corn. I don't have a corn. I just have a bunion. But it kind of lightens the movement, makes it kind of funny. I always like something that makes me laugh. So those are our warm-ups that we'll do every time. Does anybody have any questions about any of those? Just know that you can always interrupt if maybe I'm not being so clear or you're just not sure exactly how I'm doing a movement. I know over virtual land, sometimes the camera is at a weird angle or maybe you just can't see it very well. So I'm willing to come closer if I need to, turn to the side, turn face around, whatever you need to help you learn it. That's our goal here. So don't feel like you're bothering me. I'm here for y'all. All right, so that's our warm-up, and we'll do that every single time. That's a 2 for our neck, 2 for our shoulders, 2 for our spine, 2 for our hips, 2 for our knees, and 2 for our ankles. Then we can begin. Let me see what time it is. Oh, it's 10:30. We have 30 whole minutes. We can learn our first movement. Now, you might be thinking, what do you mean our first movement? What have we been doing? Well, Tai Chi is a series of movements done in a certain order. What we've done already is our warm-ups. Our warm-ups are in the style of Tai Chi. They're to get us ready to do our Tai Chi. And so I will show you places in our warm-ups how it is so similar to our Tai Chi movements. It's just to get our bodies ready. So now when we start our Tai Chi movements, our series of movements, I will turn around. So I'll show you from the front so you know what I look like from the front. And I will turn around so you can follow me. Okay. So let me know if this doesn't work for you. Always let me know if I can do something to make this better. So commencement, our first movement of our Tai Chi for arthritis and fall prevention program. We have 6 basic movements. We start in the middle, we do some to the right, we do some to the left, we come back to the center, and we're done for our basic 6. Later, we may learn some of our advanced 6 movements. Depends on what you are interested in. But we have in that Tai Chi for arthritis and falls prevention, we have basic 6 movements and advanced 6 movements. So this is our first basic, and it's called commencement. Here's what it looks like, and I'm going to do mirror image. That didn't look too complicated, did it? No, it didn't look that complicated. But when we go to try to do it ourselves and we have things going on with our feet and things going on with our hands, our brains go. So let's break it down. Let's start with our feet. So for our feet, we are simply taking a step forward. We are shifting our weight to our right leg. Remember, I'm in mirror image. And I take my left leg, step, empty step. And what an empty step is it means I place my foot, but I do not immediately give it weight. So I place that left foot out, then I shift the weight to that left foot, and then I bring that right foot forward. So it is a step forward led by your left leg. So practice that bottom half, and I'm going to turn around after I do it one more time in mirror image. I shift right, I step left, empty, no weight immediately. I shift left, I bring my right foot forward, and then I even out my weight till I have weight on both legs. All right, let me turn around. Footwork of commencement, I shift right, empty, step left, bring that right foot forward. You got it, right? All right. Hand movements. Okay. One thing to remember, slow, smooth, continuous. That's one of our principles in movement control. Also, our hands face each other the whole time. So the whole time of this movement, our hands will face each other. Of course, they start to our sides. We're facing each other, even though there's a whole 2 legs in between them. But they're going to come up. And notice this soft bend. So I'm not out, I'm out. Keep that in mind to have that song, that open joint as your hands come up. And we only go as high as our shoulders. We don't go any higher than that. Come high as our shoulders, then we come back down. And we stop about the place of our hips, and we bring those hands in to our bodies. Now we're going to take our hands up, kind of like they're an elevator. Up. Up my body. And when I get here, about armpit height, I take my hands out. Again, soft bends in my elbow. And then I bring them back. And when I get close to my body, I turn my fingers to where they're facing up. Okay. So again, it goes up, down, in, up, out, and back in. Fingers pointed up. All right, hand work again. Hands come up and down, in, up, out, back in, fingers pointed up. Okay, follow me. You can do to make it more is add a little wrist movement to it. And you saw me kind of do it and then correct myself. So when I bring my hands up, my fingers are pointed more down. And when I bring my hands down, I bring my fingers more up. In, up, out, and back. You don't have to do that, but if you see me doing it, that's what I'm doing. I'm making that movement more. Well, all you need to worry about in the beginning is the general movement of up, down, in, up, out, back. Fingers up. How does it relate to our legs? Because remember, we're going to put those together. We want the hand and the feet together. So here's what it looks like. Now that you're more familiar with the movement, our hands come up, nothing happening with our legs. When they come down is when I shift right. Then I step left. I bring those hands in and up. Now I'm ready to shift to that left foot. Because remember, when we first put that left foot out there, it's an empty step. There's no weight there. Now we're ready to give it weight. As we take those hands out, we shift weight, bring that right foot forward, and our hands go back. That's commencement. Again, mirror image, hands come up, down, shift right. Step left, hands come in and up, shift left as they go out, right foot forward, hands come back. Let's do it without me talking. And commence. In case your image confuses you, I'm going to turn around. Remember, you're not going to be able to see my hands, but you already know that my hands look like this. And you'll be able to tell what I'm doing, I think. Okay, here we go. And commence. Hands come up, down, shift right. Step left, hands come in and up. Shift left as they go out. Right foot forward, hands come back. When I bring those hands back, that's when I even out the weight. So I have weight on both legs to be able to go into that next movement. All right, here we go. Practice again and commence. Commence up, down, shift right. Left, hands come in and up. Shift left as they go out. Right foot forward. Hands come back. Open, close. I just said the next movement. Y'all weren't ready for that. That movement is way too difficult. We will need a whole day to learn that movement. Let's practice it again. And commence. Hands up. Down, shift right. Step left. Hands come in and up. Step left, they go out. Right foot forward. Hands come back. Let me go ahead and introduce you to open and close. And it's really not that serious. I was just kidding. So we end here with commencement. The next movement is open and close, and it looks like this. And that's it. That's movement 2. So for as complicated as movement 1 is with commencement, with doing all that with your feet, doing all that with your hands, we get this wonderful gift of open and now it really is that simple. Your hands open about to your armpits, the frame of your body, and then they close as they come closer together. So open and close. But you can make it more than just that. If you want to make it an inhale, all right, so place your hands out here. And what I want you to do is take a breath in. Don't worry about your hands. Just hold your hands here. Inhale and exhale. Did your hands open and close? Let's practice it a couple of times. Okay, just hold your hands out there and let's breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Your breath opens and closes your hands. You don't even have to physically open and close your hands yourself. That is open and close. It is a reminder to breathe. It is a chance to kind of regroup and get your feet in a different place if it's going to serve you better. We do open and close several times throughout our Tai Chi series of movement. So open and close. Another principle under movement control is called gentle resistance. And you can take open and close and practice gentle resistance. And you do that by maybe pretending that you have an accordion. And so you pull that accordion open and you push that accordion closed. Or you can think about a bellow that you use to get a fire going, kind of blows air to a fire. Think about a bellow. So you're opening those handles and you're pushing that bellow. And that push is what blows that air out. Okay, so I gave you 2 different things of how to use gentle resistance. Notice if you are using gentle resistance, then you are using muscle that you don't necessarily have to be using to do that movement. And that's what gentle resistance is adding use of the muscle in a movement. And we'll practice this along and along. But gentle resistance utilizes muscle, and every time we utilize muscle, we're making it stronger. We're making it more mobile. We're making you more able every time you use your muscles. And so gentle resistance is a way to use. You can use gentle resistance even in your commencement movement by when you come up, pretend that the air is thick. All the movements that you do in commencement, pretend the air is so thick and you're having to push through it. You know, maybe it's made of jello and you're having to pull through that jello and push through that jello. That's gentle resistance. So commence through jello. That's yet another way to practice Tai Chi. You don't have to use gentle resistance every time, all the time. You can insert it here and there. You cannot practice it today. You can worry about it tomorrow and use gentle resistance tomorrow. And that's why Tai Chi never gets boring, is because we can take these same moves and focus on our pace, that slow, smooth, continuous. We can think about gentle resistance. We can think about the open joints, the sung joints. We can think about posture as we do it. We can think about breath as we do it. All with one movement. We can do it that many different ways. So I encourage you to listen as I teach you principle and practice principle. You don't have to do it all at the same time. All right, so commencement and open and close. Let's just practice that several times. I'll be through it, then we'll do it several times without me talking. And commence. Hands come up, down, shift right. Step left, hands come up. Step left as they go out. Right foot forward, hands come back, open and close. Again, commence, hands come up, down, shift right. Step left, hands come in and up. Shift left as they go out, right foot forward, hands come back, open and close. Again, commence, hands up, down, shift right. Step left, hands come in and up. Shift left as they go out, right foot forward, hands come back, close. I think I got one more in me. And commence, hands up, down, shift right. Step left, hands come in and up, hands go out, right foot forward, hands come back, open and close. All right, some more without me talking. Then we'll review all the things we've learned today. And cool down. All right, and commence. Close. Open, close. Commence. Open, close. Our first two movements of Tai Chi for arthritis and falls prevention. So to review, we have gone through all of our warm-ups today. Remember, we first walk around, open, close our hands. I don't think I did that today. And if I did, that just tells you my memory stinks sometimes, and that's okay. But every time we should be walking around the room, open, closing our hands, and just to get our bodies warmed up and ready for movement. We don't want to exercise with cold muscles because it increases our chance of injury. Then we went through our warm-ups. First, our neck warm-up stretch, where we bring our hands up, in, out, and down. The other neck exercise starts out that same way. We tap one hand to our hip and follow that hand and switch side back to front. Then we rolled our shoulders forward and back and did a big shoulder circle. And we went to our spine where we had our ball, and we separated those hands to stretch our spine vertically. Then we went to our ball and stretched our spine horizontally, side to side. Then we went to our lower body, starting with our hips, where we shift weight to one leg, heel forward, hands back, pause in the middle, toe back, hands forward, shift, heel forward, hands back, pause in the middle, toe back, hands forward. The other for our hips, we shift, pushing those hands to the side, tapping out, bring it back, switch, shift, tap and punch. Not tap and punch. Good Lord. Shift. We'll tap and punch in a minute. Next is for our knees, and this is where we tap and punch. We shift, lift, tap and punch, bring it back. Taking our time in the weight shift. Slow, smooth, and continuous. We don't get in a hurry in any of the movements we do. Next, we shift, step out, shift and punch. Bring it back. Feet side by side. Shift, step, shift and punch. Bring it back, side by side. Then with our ankles, we shifted and did heel toe. Rock those feet. Bring it back, shift, and we heel toe. Bring it back, and then we big toe, little toe. So we side to side that ankle. So these are our warm-ups of all of our major joints. Then we learned commencement, the first movement of our series, where we took a step forward. We shifted weight to our right leg, we stepped left, we shifted left, and brought that right foot forward. With our hands, we came up, hands faced the whole time, and down, in, up, out, back in, keeping in mind our open joints. Putting that together, hands up, down as I shift, step, in and up, shift as they go out, right foot forward, hands back, and then we learn to open and close. We talked about principles. Our 3 principles in movement control, body structure, and internal. Under movement control, we think about the pace of our movement. Slow, smooth, continuous. Another thing in movement control that we talked about is gentle resistance. And that's utilizing muscle that you don't necessarily need to use to do the movement. But it works that muscle a little bit more, helping make that muscle stronger and more able. And in body structure, we talked about upright posture, shoulders back, like a string that pulls up and down your spine. We also talked about having our feet about shoulder width apart for stability. And we talked about the importance of weight transfer. And also, if you need modifications. So if you struggle with balance, if you have a fear of falling, have a chair nearby. Have a table that's not easily pushed and moved. A wall, something that you can rely on if you do lose your balance and need to catch yourself. Or to completely skip hand movements altogether. There is even a seated version, which we didn't talk about, but that is a modification of Tai Chi. So we talked about that weight transfer and the importance of weight transfer in balance. And then the final thing is internal. The final principle that we talked about is an internal principle. And one thing we discussed was open joints, not locking our elbows, not locking our knees, keeping those armpits breathing, room to breathe in these armpits. That's called a song joint. S-O-N-G, song joint, an open joint. And that allows energy to flow through your body. That's life energy, not the energy that makes you want to go run a mile. Just the life energy that makes our bodies different than a body that's in a casket. We want to increase our life energy, and we can do that through Tai Chi. So that's a review of what we've talked about. We will continue to talk about these things, but you'll hear them differently because you'll start practicing and go, oh, this makes sense now. I see what she's saying. So don't worry if you can't memorize everything I said. There is never going to be a test. So you don't have to worry about passing a test. You're just here to absorb the information, and in time, you'll learn it and practice it. So let's cool down by giving ourselves a little fist massage. If you're able to pull your knee up high, pull that knee up high as you softly hit that leg with your fist, breaking up any lactic acid that tries to make you sore. That's what this exercise does, is breaks up lactic acid. Next, we want to intentionally gather tension. Feel that tension and know that if we hold tension all the time, it can become pain. And we're against pain, right? So we don't want to hold on to tension. We want to let it go. So know what it feels like and then let it go. And that's part of body awareness that Tai Chi teaches us. All right, big shoulder circle. We inhale up and we exhale as we push down. And then to end class, we take our right fist, and that represents our strength. Our left hand, the fingers together, represents our friendship. Our thumb in represents our humility. So we have strength, friendship, humility, and we put those like this. And in mutual respect, we say namaste. So is everybody good? You feel good about it? Okay. Well, always let me know if I have just confused the heck out of you, because sometimes things be coming out my mouth and I'm not responsible for it. I don't know what is, but sometimes words will be coming out. But anyway, it's always good to see y'all. Sharita, you're a sight for sore eyes. I hope you're feeling well.
I feel horrible today, but at least I got to see you.
I see your pretty smile. Well, I hope you get to feeling better and keep coming around, and you'll be back to your chipper self before we know it.
I know. Thank you, Jennifer.
You're welcome, darling. So remember, next week we do not have class because I have to be trained in mind over matter. It's an incontinence program that I may be able to offer later. I'll have to, there's a lot more that goes along with this stuff than we even need to talk about. But I have to be trained, and that's next Tuesday. You do have access to the YouTube page that you can get by going to YouTube and searching SOWEGA, SOWEGA, Jennifer Crosby, and I'll pop right up. So you can review some of those classes that have happened in the past. I think I have 3 years worth of classes on there. There's a playlist that's called Tai Chi that has all the different movements. You can practice the warm-ups. You can practice commencement. There's even a video about open and close. So I am available for you to contact. So if you need help, just call me. My direct line is 912 292 9052. So if you say right now to yourself, oh, I can get on YouTube, I'll remember exactly what she said for me to search, and then you actually go to do it and go, Tachi, what was her name? Call me and I'll walk you through it. Okay, so if you wanted that number, did you get it?
Can you say it again?
Yes, ma'am. My direct line is 912 292 9052. And if
Thank
I
you.
don't answer, leave me a message and I will call you back. I'm like a butterfly. I'll be flittering around all over the place. I can't stand to just sit at my desk. I'll come in here and walk around in circles and talk on the phone. I mean, you just never know where I'm going to be, but I try not to be at that desk. But I will call you back. All right. Well, if y'all don't have any questions, then I will talk to you soon enough, right? And y'all take care, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay?
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Love y'all.
Love you.
Bye-bye.